All right. It is the beginning of a new week on April 3rd. All right. So we missed April Fool's Day. Haha. So what do we got? We got a lot, but the first thing I'm going to do is I want to close this Tesla position that I got. You see this Tesla position I got? So I shorted Tesla. Why did I short Tesla? God knows why I short Tesla. I started reading bad news over the weekend, then it just got good news. The momentum started down, so I just shorted this week's shortest options. They were like $500, but you know what? I'm up. I was up 48%. Now I'm closing this position up 45%. There you go. We're gonna close that Tesla. Get it over with. Thank you very much. Done. Made 48% on a trade, 45% on a trade. Why did I do that? Why did I cover this Tesla? So let me show you this. Let's see what's going on here. Tesla. Here we go. There we go. Tesla. So, all day we were just making new lows, new lows, new lows, new lows, new lows. But as you know, I believe in my crazy trend lines, right? And supports and resistances. And Tesla, I mean, this stock went up from 100. I want a shorted period, right? For whatever, as long as I could this week and next week, whatever, as long as I see it's working. We had this huge run up from $100 to $215, 100 and something percent. And this is a top right around here, 217. As long as we don't get there, I believe that's a real top. But I closed this position because you see Tesla was falling, right? I started shorting right around today's, came in. Boom, I hit first support area that I had, my trend line, my daily graphs on my trend lines. So that was the first thing I had to do, was close this position. Now let's move on and see what we are seeing this week. Today started off really hot. It was just a hot morning. Everything's going really well. So let's see what we're looking at. We're going to start with the markets, with the diamonds. We're going to start with the Qs and the SPYs as usual. All right, so the first thing we got is, this week we're going to look at fundamental data. We're looking at towards the end of the week, we're going to have unemployment. We're going to look at unemployment, which is going to be interesting. Initial claims we're going to have on April 6th, continuing claims. So we're going to look at those things. We're going to move on now to the chart. So here we are on a daily graph, as you can see in the diamonds. Here the SPY, here are the Qs. And I gave you a bit of a picture here of what was going on. And we kind of went out of our tunnel like we spoke about last week. And we are trying to go back up to the 345 area. That's the next levels that we're looking at, around the 345. So we're kind of in limbo area right now. So you got to really be cautious. Listen to what the analysts are saying. Everyone thinking that the rally in tech is over. They're looking to, short tech. SMAs, you're saying they, kind of in the same limbo field right now. So we'll see what happens. Even though I showed you a head and shoulder reverse, head and shoulders in the SMA, so we're going to keep an eye on that. The Dow, as you see on the daily graph, we are in an area of resistance right around here. So we're kind of like in limbo. It's a midpoint area, but for a day trade, this would have been a great trade to start. And then you could take on the rest, after you cover half of the profit, you could take the rest on as a swing trade. That would have been amazing right around this area over here. So whoever caught that today, that's pretty amazing. I'm going to show it to you on a 5-minute graph. Let's get you the exact price though. So the exact price right there we had, which is really, really nice resistance, is 336.12, right? You see that area right there, kind of like a double top, 336.12. So we hit today 336.25. That's like 10 cents away. That's like, you didn't even need to use such a big stop loss. Love these trades. These trades are just amazing, and it just gave you right away $2. You could have caught $1 at least out of $2, even if you're a crappy trader, right? I mean, look at this. 5-minute bars are just falling one right after the other. So move on to the SPY. So this is the trend for today, okay? The Dow is the only one that is positive, if you're noticing. Since last week, we were talking about the Dow is leading. Right now, it's a leading indicator. We're going to move on to the SPY. So the SPY, again, I showed you this tunnel, this area. We spoke about this long trade at 385 area. And we are going back up all the way down. Up. We should reach somewhere around the 418, 420 area. We'll see what happens over here. And once again, look what the SPY is doing, kind of like what the Dow, but not at the last high, but also resistance right around here, as you can see that. And let's look at it in a 5-minute graph for today's trades. Here we are. That is what we're looking at. Okay, so we have an uptrend, but we are down from the open. Okay, April 3rd. There you go, right here. So we're down from the open. The Qs, once again, I showed you two areas, right? Two areas that we kind of had a bear flag that didn't really work out if you wanted to call a bear flag, and we spoke about that. Then we had a bull flag at a shorter range, and then we kind of blew out of it. Tech went flying first before the diamonds. We spoke about last week. We showed the trade. Right now, we're in resistance. I spoke about this on Friday, this resistance area that we reached. I showed it to you before I got there. And I also spoke about if you're going to take a swing position, because everything was hot last week, right? You're going to take this swing position in an option. It's much less risk for you. So that's pretty good trade, starting trade for whoever got into that at the end of the week on Friday. If we are going to break this area, the next area you're looking at range of resistance is 333, more or less. Let's see what happens. Let's see, because everyone's talking about the tech and tech going down. Let's jump into some trades. Let's see what happened this morning. First trade of the day came in with RIVN. I gave you the stock at the beginning of last week, at the end of last week. We caught it long. It was some great trades here. Made some nice money, if you guys recall. Well, what struck me today was I went to a 60-minute graph, and we went up enough on RIVN, and obviously Tesla's coming in. I'm shorting Tesla, RIVN. I'm seeing so many of these companies, these electric car companies popping up everywhere. I'm seeing names I don't even recognize. Competition's fierce. At the end of the day, they were beating down their stock, right? So we said we're always going with the momentum. The momentum's down. We're still going to play that until we see a change like we saw a few days ago, which gave us a nice trade. But now I'm going to start looking to short this stock until I see this uptrend that went up continue. And the first area of resistance I noticed was on Friday, was right around here, the 1515 mark. This area of support where they bought the stock right around here, and they took it up all the way up to like 570. So this was my first area of resistance. And, I came in, I was just like bored, looking for a trade. I hate trading on the opens on Mondays. But if I see a trade, I'm just very cautious. But if I see someone, I'll play it small and I'll take it and see if it works out. So right away, I looked at it 1 minute, and we came in. Give you an exact shot of this. Here's 11 o'clock. And one more. We came in right, opened around April 3rd. Here we are. Get the open, please. Right around here. We're going to open this graph so you can see this a little better. So I can open this up. 950, 940. Here we go. Here's the open. We bounced up. We're coming back down all the way to 1515. Breaking that, going even lower. Jumping back up to this 1515 area. And I'm telling myself, that's the first area of resistance. You just saw it in 60-minute graph. Short the stock. That's a first trade, jumping in somewhere around this area. Stock goes all the way down to 465, more or less. Jumps back up to 1515. Another trade, another short at this area, 1515. Jumping back down. Here we are again. Triple top already. 1515. Touching it again. And then falling back down again all the way to 485. Yeah, it got smaller. But it's still, these are great trades. If you know your stock and you're learning your stock and you're trading these stocks every day, you're going to figure this out, where these resistance are. You could see me doing this live, obviously. in the class, you could click on the banner. You could have access over there to the live class. So that's RIVN for you, okay? And here we are in a 5-minute graph. What we're looking at, let's see. This is what I was showing you last week. We had this tunnel and this crazy uphill battle going on, and the stock, it kind of changed course on the daily graph and started going up. So that's what woke us up. I'll show you that in a minute. So as you could see, we kind of went up. We had this tunnel, then we went above the tunnel. We kind of came into a new range, and boom, we fell back down. So now we're kind of trying to make some sort of, I would look at this and say that this is, some sort of a bear flag formation. We're going to see how it's going to play out. But right now, 1515 is our resistance area. Okay. What else did we look at today? We kind of had a AGI. Here's a daily graph as you could see it. So this stock has been, going up and up and up as of late on a daily graph. And every time it's breaking the trend to the upside, the stock is just continuing. It's not even coming back in. And if it does, it's a very small stop loss and you could actually control. And I hate buying breakouts. I told you, I like buying support, selling resistance. Then I'm going to see how they play out. Maybe I'll buy around resistance if I see it's turning into a support. But I hate buying breakouts. But this is a stock that it's working on. The trend I'm noticing on it a few times already, it's been popping up on my radar and it's been working. And today it worked as well. You keep looking at the highs of the stock and it keeps popping it. It broke a monthly high. Okay. Obviously today it did it, which is a significant point. So you could look, but when you're buying resistance breakouts, you got to be cautious. Your position should be a quarter or a third of what your usual positions are on an average. So if your position is to buy 400 shares, you should just buy 100 shares in such a trade, because it is a risky trade. So one of the catalysts today was oil. So they had some good reports. Oil's gapped up. I was looking right away at the sectors. I had the OIH, XOP, XLE, IYE. I went through them, and they're gapping up. The momentum is up. The trend is up. That means that I want to try and make a trade buying it. When do I want to buy it? I want to buy it at around the support. I want to buy it somewhere where I have the least amount of risk. If something opens up on a gap up and starts coming in, obviously, people are either taking profit. I don't really believe that people like to go against a trend. People usually take profit, and that's what brings down the stock. So what happens is I'm looking at it from intraday. This is the pre-market area that we're looking at. We're trading. We start coming down. Boom. I look for something crazy to happen. Volatility. Stocks coming in. Great. Right away, I could start keeping an eye on this stock, right? On this trend. It's very, 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 very steep. It's very fast, right? 134 all the way down to 131. $3 were coming in. Not that, dollars matter, cents of dollars doesn't matter in such a price stock where it's $100. You got to look at the percentage point. But for me, this is a significant move if I know how a sector moves. As soon as that happens and we're done falling, and then we start playing around like we did here for 20 whole minutes to a half hour, this whole area, I will say to myself, okay, this is up, it's a gap up. We didn't fill the gap. We're still positive in the day. I want to be able to, we didn't fill the gap. That's what I'm talking about. I'm still positive for the day. I want to be able to buy the stock. So I'm coming in, I'm going in somewhere around here, 130, 150, area, 60, 50, whatever it is. And you could put a tight stop loss right around what the low was, 130, 130. You could put it in 13 cents, 26 cents, whatever you feel is right for you. Some people could do $1. you figure that out according to the sense of how much risk you like to take for all your trades. Money management is one of the most important things. And therefore, when that happens, you have a nice rally right away with a very, very small stop. You ended up making over here 4-1, at least 2-1, 3-1 if you're, 2-1 if you're not even a good trader. So that was a great trade for the morning on the oil. Next stock I found was TD, Toronto Dominion Bank. And, I saw two blocked trades going off at 60.54 for 1,250,000 shares twice. That means someone sold. They came off a block of shares, someone sold them. That's 2.5 million shares. Someone sold them. Now, I'm looking at a monthly graph, right? The stock obviously went down, like the KRE went down, the whole sector went down, the banking sector went down. And there's a capitulation candle here. Every time there's a capitulation candle, I see it goes back up. Someone sold 2.5 million shares. If there is a buyer who's willing to buy 2.5 million shares, to me, that shows a little bit of strength. And obviously someone's buying this stock. So I kept an eye on it. Really, really interesting. And I got in with him. Whoever bought, I was like, I want to be a buyer too, right? So I started trading, and look how beautifully this stock traded today. I mean, I'm going to go to a daily graph, but it traded really nice. Goes up, takes some profit. You see, it doesn't want to go down, keeps going up, takes some profit, come back down. Noticing the trend here, support, going back up, support, back up, resistance, breakout. Breakout of resistance, pretty cool. Keeps going back up, come back down, holds the resistance, turns into a support, and keeps going back up. There's strength right here in this bank. We're going to keep an eye on it this week. We're going to see what happens with it. So that was a really interesting trade. If anybody follows blocks, let me know. I'm actually curious to learn some more about blocks. I just noticed we do have a resistance right here at 61.46. It's a high for it's on a daily graph. It was March 14th. Okay, so take that into consideration. See that? It was a high a few weeks ago. This is a weekly graph. And here we are on a monthly graph, okay, which is what I was showing you before, which made things interesting. These are very risky assets to trade, so take that into consideration as well, because the banks right now are a bit risky. Next stock we're going to talk about is GME. We spoke about it last week. I showed you guys support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 supports right around the 22.15 area. Okay, and the resistance around the 24 area. And I personally told you that whole area of 22.15 area, we got to watch it really closely. So far, you have buys at support, which are low risk trades. And the ones who want to get short this stock should wait until the 22 area should get broken. And then that support should turn into a resistance. And only then should you think about shorting the stock, because obviously this start, gapped up a few days ago, and the momentum is up, and so is the trend right now, short-term trend, but overall it's short. Okay, so you see this now in a 5-minute graph. There you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a bunch of times that we supported this area, and now whoever did that is taking profit, and we are right now, boom, 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 right around not 24 area as resistance, but the resistance right now is somewhere around the 23.75 area. So that's the range we'll keep playing on the GME for now until we see something else forming. And keep an eye on RIVN again. It's where we spoke about 15.15 almost.